Hello, everybody. This is Robin Johnston. Just a little reflection, and I'm going to endorse one candidate. But uh, Sabeson, I don't know if that cartoon, I think he's got it right. But there was a lot of recycled politicians in the debates. Okay. Then there was one politician who regurgitates what I say. Uh, they all try to make as if it's something new that they're bringing to the table. In fact, what they've done is they've replayed everything that I've said and just brought it onto the stage because they have nothing that they can bring to the table that comes from up here that they've thought about. That's the drugs, that's whatever. They didn't even mention, they couldn't even come close. SBC couldn't even come close to asking about the WHO and the vaccines and the vaccine injuries and whatever. They couldn't come close to asking, you know. That's a disgrace. A lot of people have been vaccine injured. A lot of people are dying of cancer. And a lot of people have had heart failures, all related to the COVID vaccine. But they won't even if it wasn't related, to prove that it wasn't related, they didn't even bring it up in the debate, touch on it. They didn't even talk about it. And then you've got a president who refuses to join the debate because he says that each presidential candidate needs 26 representatives in the National Assembly before he will debate them. Where did you come from, Wavell Ramkalawan? Where did you come from, Mapidamandu? Kote unsochiu. Did you just suddenly wake up in the morning and have a premonition that they all need 26 candidates? Ufu? Why don't you get off your high horse? Or do you need to be towed in again by the Coast Guard to bring you back in to shore? You represent a large population, or a large proportion of the population, I correct myself, a fairly large proportion is going down, okay? But you don't even represent them. It's not about you, it's about your supporters. They want to also see you at your best. That these other candidates have got nothing on me. They can never come close to me. But you couldn't. You ran. You hid under a rock. You hid under a rock because you couldn't come and bring your ideas or your manifesto or what you wanted for the future, because it's none of your ideas. It all belongs to Davos in the desert. You are a puppet of the UAE and the World Economic Forum and the New World Order, which is dying fast. Pemola, it's crumbling away. Is disappearing in the next 5 years to 2030. Napa 2030 po New World Order. Finila. Even Keir Starmer doesn't know what to do anymore. Don't you understand that Netanyahu is a globalist? Doesn't anybody understand that Netanyahu is a WEFI, a World Economic Forum couillon, like yourself, Waver? That's why you got tapas in Gaza and in all the things. It's the globalists that are making all that problem in Gaza. It's not the Israelis. It's Netanyahu and his friends like Keir Starmer and the likes of you, Wavell, and the people in the Davos in the desert. Those are your friends. Those are the World Economic Forum. Those are the New World Order people. Those are the criminals. What do you think in Ukraine? You think there's no difference? What's Zelensky and Netanyahu are the Two peas in a pod. They're the same people. They were created by the same people. The New World Order, the World Economic Forum. That's where they come from. That's why they don't care about killing of Gazans. They don't care about Palestinians or Palestine or whatever. They don't care. There's only 2 million. What do you think? 100,000 people in Seychelles, they're going to care about them. They've slaughtered over 100,000 people in Gaza already. What do you think we are? Nothing. Uh, but you want to count out Wavell and all those people, those kind, your kind of people, Wavell, your kind of people. You want us to follow you. The unfortunate thing is your supporters are following you and they don't even know where they're going. They're going to the edge of a cliff and they're going to be pushed over. That's what you supporters are supporting. Your own suicide. Because your president couldn't even represent you in a debate because he's a coward. He makes excuses. The National Assembly is a completely different election. The presidential election is a completely different election. The National Assembly should be a mid-term election. It should be happening not with the presidential election, it should be happening in the midterm of a presidential, right? So you 2025 and the next one is 2030. So the midterm for the National Assembly will be 28 September. 2028 September. That's when we have the midterm, because when people like Wavell Ramkala won, right, break his promises and doesn't follow his manifesto with the rest of his entourage, all right, then we have a midterm elections to correct that, so that the government in power realizes, ooh, the people are not happy with us, so we better change. But when you mash it all together, like Wavell does, that you need 26 people and this and that for me to debate and all that, ilalang sa. Grand la lang, big lie. La lang, la lang, la lang. And he knows it. But you people who go wave all your flags and every 5 years and chanting in rallies and all that, you don't see that. You don't understand that. Why? This is African politics that you're playing now. It's not Seychelles politics, African politics. And it gets you nowhere. Find a successful African country. Napa. Don't talk about Rwanda and all those people. It's like places like Burkina Faso that needs to get things done. But even them, if you look at Rwanda, Rwanda is designed by the globalists. It's designed by the World Economic Forum. That's why the Rwandan president came here, because he's a puppet of the same thing, of the New World Order. And they're trying to use that stage in Africa to bring it similar to what we've got in Seychelles. We want that same thing in Seychelles. That's what Wavell is doing. But you people don't see that because you're too naive. You're not looking at the international stage. You're not looking at what's influencing our government. You don't look at what's influencing our government. These people don't have brains on their own to make laws and regulations. They get texts, they get telephones, they get messages, do this, do that, do this. Most likely, because the evidence, the way the country is going, shows it. And then now, let's step back a bit, because I've now complained about Wavell. Leslie, he's a failure. We know that now. I don't know why everybody's following him. I mean, he's an embarrassment. If I had still been in the LDS and he hadn't gone on stage, I would have told him straight, why the hell are you not going on stage? I would have told him, really. I'm telling him now, he should have done it. The biggest mistake he ever did. But he's a couillon, so what do you expect? So now we have the debates, and we had some recycled politicians again. I know them all. I got nothing against them. I know they're trying to do the right thing, but they're old. They're recycled. Okay? So let's look at the who are the youngest of the crowd. And then you've got Marco Francis. Okay, he's a businessman, but when he says when he talks about assumption and he has to use my ideas to talk about it, thank you very much. I'm glad you did, because that's exactly what's happened. You know, um, when everybody talks on the topic of drugs or whatever like that, they still don't understand what we have to do with drugs in this country, how to tackle it, how to cure, how to help people. Because Seychelles is very naive to that, because it's been methadone, always methadone, 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 but they don't get into the real issues of why people get on drugs, hard drugs like heroin or whatever you want. Why? There's a lot of issues there that you need to look into, and our politicians don't understand that. So if they don't understand that, how are they going to help? You know, cold turkey is not helping. Cold turkey is being very naive and not understanding the drug or addiction. Addiction is like those people who go crazy over sex, who it's nothing but sex in their head, that they need sex every day. That's an addiction. When you got people going to the casinos every single day and spending money there, that's an addiction. When you have people tous les jours boire la bière, whatever, baka, and getting drunk and depend on alcohol, that's an addiction. When somebody takes heroin and can't stop, that's an addiction. Human beings have an addictive nature. But then there's some bad addictions and there's some good addictions. But when it gets over the top and it starts controlling you, then you've lost the plot and you need help. Methadone doesn't help drugs. It's like legalizing prostitution. Doesn't help the addiction of sex. You guys don't think like that because you're not educated in a way like that. There's only one person who knows that he's looking at the future, is because he's more in tune with numbers, and that's Charles de Clarisse. Charles is the one that's the youngest, that's got a better chance to bring Seychelles towards a better future. You know, he's got more vision. He's got more. He cares about his youth. He cares about his generation, where they need to rebuild this country. When you have these parades and all and these rallies and uh, convoys or whatever, this is not a. This is about the future of the party, and how big they can make their party, and how many supporters they can accumulate, like it's a football match. But we're losing the plot because we need to be thinking about how do we develop our countries? How do we develop the future? How do we build our country? Not build our party and build our supporters, how many supporters we can have. It's about building our country. It's about building our future for our children. It's about building our own country, not importing people to build our country for us, because easy come, easy go. If you build our own country, when we build our own country, we build our own culture. If you look at SBC sometimes, in the old movies, you saw children in competitions dancing. You saw all sorts of different competitions where the culture was there. You could feel our culture. Now, where's the culture? Waving a flag and drinking beer and going having sex somewhere in a Comblanc somewhere, because they've addicted to everything. Because, as Charles said, n'a pas rien pour faire. They got nothing to do. They're bored. So they go out drinking. But in the old days, we had about 6 or 7 discos. where people could go out at night and release all this energy that they've got. So when you're dancing and you're drinking, you're not getting completely drunk. But now you're driving around in the cars, in rallies, going to every Indian shop or whatever it is to go and buy a beer. And you're drinking. Where's the release? So all that build up for 5 years, that's your release. That's all you've got. But if you have your release when you go to a disco, when you go to a nightclub, when you go out, in the evenings and having fun and having one or two beers, then it's okay. And you're dancing and you're sweating, you're getting exercise. But why is it that every disco and every entertainment place is caught fire and burnt down? What about the youth? What about the district offices and the district administration areas where why don't we have little youth centers in where people can go and play dominoes or whatever? We don't have domino competition. Why don't we have domino competitions in this country anymore? Huh? Why don't we have high school football or into high school competitions so that we can better ourselves? We can uplift our youth to play good sports. Why don't we have fishing competitions for the youth? Why don't we have sailing competitions for the youth? Why don't we make things challenging so that youth and the parents can get out there and teach each other where they used to? Mum and dad used to get in a little boat and then go sailing and teach their children. But nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore. So there's only one person who says, when he says they've got nothing to do, he's right on target. Nobody else in that debate said that. So what I'm saying to everybody now is I am going to endorse Charles. I believe that he's young, he's got some good ideas, and I think that out of all the candidates, including that useless Wavell who never even showed up, uh, he's the best chance. I think he's the winning ticket. If you really care about your country and about Seychelles and the sovereignty of our country, then you should look deep into what he's saying. The rest are just recycled, even including Emily. I know everybody says, no, we need to give him a turn. It's not about giving your people a turn. It's about the best person for the job. It's about the best person who's got the best vision for the country. It's not a sovereign country as in king and queen and things, where there's a succession where people come in line. It's not like that. We're an independent sovereign republic, and we need the best person for the job. And a young person, not just this recycling. Because you can only recycle a plastic bottle so many times and then it's finished. So how long do you think you can keep on with the politicians in this country? It's fini, man. It becomes brittle, it becomes rubbish. So no offense, but that's what happens. So you need fresh blood. We need fresh people. We need new ideas. We need the youth to be interested. We need the young politicians today. The old ones have done their job. The old ones have failed. Wake up. They all failed. You know? Give hope to your country. Give hope to your future. Give hope to your future children. Give hope to your grandchildren. Charles, you've got my vote, and I'm endorsing you. Thank you for listening.